I know you also lost your dad recently, and he was a journalist, I guess, with the L.A. Times.
with the LA Daily News.
L.A. Daily News. Okay,
For
I'm sorry.
I,
I didn't know there was another paper out there. So, yeah.
yeah, that's been the second paper there for years. Now it's not as well known. I guess back when he worked there decades
Yeah.
ago, it had a stronger reputation. They were breaking bigger stories. He was involved in some of that. And then he went on to do freelance producing for news magazine shows like 60 Minutes, 48 Hours, a bunch of them. He produced some stories for Mike
Oh,
Wallace. But yeah,
is
his name
how,
his, his name
is that
his name is Arnold Friedman, or Arnie
yeah,
Friedman.
is that what inspired you to get into journalism?
Actually, no, but uh, up until this year, he played a very important role, and he was very much like a help, a role model, influential in my coverage, the reporting I do. It it actually wasn't because of him that I wanted to start in journalism, but once I once I did get started in journalism, I would always look to him for advice uh, with everything from investigations to editing to ethical issues to all kinds of stuff with my coverage. And yeah, I would always go to him for advice and for editing help, among other things. And yeah, so he had a big impact on my reporting. And actually, when I went to when I went to Ukraine this first time, it was very shortly after his death. It was about a little more than a month. He died right before a month before the war started, so it was like about a month and a half
Yeah.
after his death, and that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to go. I was still dealing with a lot of his stuff at the time, but I said to myself that I want to go there to make my father proud. That's my father would be proud to see me reporting there. So that was one of the reasons why I felt the need to go there.
Yeah. So your dad was pretty
You're
much a
asking,
stationary reporter. He didn't really
yeah.
travel outside of L.A. While you travel a lot.
Well, he outside LA, but he wasn't reporting internationally, and most of his work was in LA, and most of it was related to the crime and courts beat. And yeah, so our styles were totally different in the sense that I'm traveling all around, and I'm more interested in geopolitics, and he's more focused on crime and the justice system in the U.S. and specifically based in LA, but also he, I've done some investigative work in the past, more so in the past, particularly for Calcos News, this publication that I work for in California. But I'd say that in general, my father's work was probably more investigative than mine. He had all kinds of sources in law enforcement, and yeah, he would break some hard hitting stories at times, and always be pitching stuff to Mike Wallace and to CBS and other
Yeah.
networks. Yeah, so that's a bit about my father.
Yeah.
He I think he did really excellent work over decades in the industry. Thank you for bringing up my father. I'm just eternally grateful for everything he did for me, and I'm I'm glad that if nothing else, I can go out and do some reporting to make him proud.